Welcome to the Sovereign Teacher. I teach spiritual integration and remind you of your sovereignty through tarot, family constellations, and embodiment, and A Course in Miracles. What came to me this morning was the question, what matters to me? So I'm going to ask you that question. What matters to you? Because we're stepping into this new version of ourselves, and we have to practice it in order to embody it. So what came to me the other day is I am the sovereign teacher. I think for a while I questioned this identity because it came to me, but I didn't really fully feel like I fit it. Like I hadn't fully embodied it. And now I am embodying it. And so what I wanted to address today was, what are some thoughts, feelings, behaviors of a person who knows themselves as sovereign? So I used to be a marriage and family therapist. That was my past identity. And I was married. That was my past identity. So one of the models in therapy that I used was cognitive behavioral model. And it was also used in emotionally focused couples therapy. You look at thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So in looking at thoughts and feelings and behaviors, I wanted to know what thoughts, feelings, and behaviors a sovereign person would display. And it really kind of validated me stepping into this role. So you can kind of check for yourself. How are you doing with this? A person who knows themselves as sovereign isn't trying to become powerful. They're moving from the quiet, grounded knowing they already are. And that shows up in very tangible ways across thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Okay, so today I do feel like I'm being tested in a number of areas. So when I came out here, I felt peace and alignment. And in order to come out here, I had to step away from other people, places, and things. And sometimes doing that is really hard. I noticed this morning, I do an embodiment practice every morning of Tai Chi, and it helps me ground in my body and feel my energy field and really stay in my energy field, be more aware of it so that I can stay in it and recognize when I'm stepping outside of it. So as I'm doing my energy practice of Tai Chi, I'm inhaling. I was doing fountain. So I'm inhaling up, exhaling down. And what I noticed was when I exhaled, I was still holding air in. And that is a trauma response. I recognize that as a trauma response, is holding my breath, holding a little bit in because I don't know what's coming. And so once I recognized that, I could say, it's safe to let go. And then I could let more air out and then take more air in. So I just wanted to share that because, I don't know, it just came up there. Okay, so a sovereign person, this is from me, this is really from my experience. I was also doing ChatGPT with this, but this is very me. A sovereign person loves basking and bathing in their own energy, which is really the energy of spirit or God or love. So they love just being in that energy, in that space. Okay. So I'm dividing this into thoughts, feelings, behaviors. So thoughts, or the inner narrative. Some thoughts of a sovereign person are, or could be, I am the creator of my experience. I can trust myself and life even when things are unclear. Other people's reactions are information, not definitions of me. I don't need permission to honor my truth. Everything I experience is either aligned or guiding me back into alignment. There's a noticeable absence of chronic self-doubt, over-identification with others' opinions, and victim-based thinking. Instead, there's self-responsibility without self-blame. So yesterday, I recognized I was feeling a little bit resentful. And I recognized that it was coming from this old pattern of overgiving. So when there's an absence, I feel it. And I wasn't communicating to my partner certain things, because I was able to come to a place of, okay, this stems from a pattern of finding people that can't meet my needs, and then I have to overcompensate for that. Now I know that my partner can meet my needs, and so I recognized that, and I was able to ask for my needs to be met. And then he was able to say, okay, I hear you, and this is what I need in order for me to be able to meet your needs. And so we were able to have this really good dialogue where we could co-create together. But at first I was very down. I was really mad at myself for doing that again, for falling into that pattern. I was like, you can't keep doing this. Maybe this isn't gonna work. But staying with myself, not abandoning myself, not abandoning my partner, and staying very present and grounded, and being able to have that conversation. And practicing what I preach. So holding myself accountable. Okay, so feelings. Let's talk about feelings, the emotional landscape. So the feelings of a sovereign person are grounded even when emotions are intense. So yesterday when I was feeling that way, I had to calm myself down and tell myself, this is something that you can change. You know the pattern, you can recognize the pattern, you know what's happening, and you can change this. And yesterday I did a video of I'm willing to change, which could be how that even came up and how I even became aware of it, because I was willing to look at it and willing to change. They are at peace with complexity. I can feel fear and still move forward. They are self-compassionate rather than critical. So I had to work on that yesterday. I started to be upset with myself, and then I was able to reach for that self-compassion and understand this is a pattern that's been going on for my whole life. So of course it's going to be hard to change, and of course I'm going to make mistakes. Worthy without needing external validation. So I am really stepping into this role that I really feel is me and what I want to offer to the world, of the sovereign teacher and my sovereign tea parties. And I don't have a lot of validation yet. And I still know that this is the right path, and I'm going to stay with it. And I know that it's going to come back to me in some way. I know that it's going to reward me in some way. Okay, open-hearted but not overextended. And that was part of what was happening with me. I'm very open-hearted and very giving. And I have to recognize where my boundary ends, where I feel comfortable giving and where I'm overextending. They don't avoid emotions, they acknowledge, validate, and care for them. And that's my emotional self-care model of ABCs. Acknowledge, validate, care for, whatever emotions come up. There's less urgency, less emotional chasing, and more calm certainty. I know that things are going to work out because I am in alignment with my highest self. And yes, I have to keep checking in with myself and taking care of different parts of myself as they come up. It's an ongoing process. Okay, so behaviors, how it shows up in life. A sovereign person sets clear, clean boundaries without over-explaining. They take responsibility for their choices and outcomes. They don't overfunction or rescue others. And when they do, they catch themselves, and then they can come back to their center. They allow others to have their own experiences without trying to control them. And they make decisions based on alignment, not fear or approval. They also rest without guilt, receive support without feeling weak, walk away from misalignment without dramatizing. So in relationships, a sovereign person chooses you rather than needs you. They don't score keep or act like a martyr. They don't collapse, chase, or withdraw to manipulate outcomes. They can hold space for both connection and individuality. And love becomes co-creative, not compensatory. It's not perfection, which I think is what we all think it is. It's no matter what arises, I return to myself. There's a deep internal home base, and that is what I mean by come home to yourself. But you have to clean your home. And that is going to be my next video. So I'm going to end here for today, and then I will do another video on how to clean your home.